Reanimal has hidden coffins throughout its world, and in this video, I'm going to show you where to find them, what they reveal, and how to ultimately get the secret ending to the game. So lots of players found the first coffin for Hood in the demo, and so you would assume there would be more, and of course, that is correct. And if you find all of the coffins, you're going to unlock the achievement called Friends Reunited that has the note saying, find all coffins and unlock the secret ending. The first coffin is Hood. So after you repair the trolley and get across this little bridge here, you want to stop your cart right here and then run off to this train off to the side. You make your way through the train and you're going to find the first coffin that is standing upright. This is the same coffin that was obviously in the demo, and opening it will show the ghost of Hood. And what happens is Hood steps out of the coffin and she gets executed. It looks like someone popped her right in the head, which is very grim. So that is coffin number 1, and you can see the number 1 on it. So the second coffin is actually for our character, the boy. So after we complete the first island and get away from the sniffer, we're going to open up this large stone gate so we can take the boat and then go into the next area. And we'll need to obtain the harpoons so we can go around to right before the hotel. Now, instead of going to the hotel, we're going to hang a right and then blow up these 2 mines back here, which is going to allow us to then get out of our boat. And when you walk into this building, you're going to notice you're going into what looks like a prison. And this coffin is marked by the number 4. There are 4 slashes in the door. And so when this opens, we can watch the ghost of the boy step outward as they await their fate, and they end up getting hung. And this kind of makes sense given our outfit. We can still see the rope around our neck. And so this rope lifts them into the air instead of them dropping and breaking their neck, and they ultimately die this way. And so for the third coffin, which is actually marked number 3. So when we first enter the area with the island that has the cannon on it, instead of going all the way across to the beach, we're going to circle around to this rocky outcrop over here, and we'll see an entrance. So we flow back here with our boat, being careful not to die to the guy who's swimming at us, and we'll eventually come to the coffin. Now what's interesting, and it's very thematic for this death, is that the coffin itself is inside a naval mine. And when we open this coffin, it is Bandage that steps out. And they're very cautious, almost like they know they're stepping out of a door, and they're looking around at the ground, but then they make a mistake. They step on something, and suddenly they're blown up. And then their spirit fades away. And so the next coffin we're going to find in order is going to be in the orphanage. So you'll know you're coming up to where the coffin is, where there's this room where if you step on the board, you fall. So normally you push the bookshelf over, and this will take you down to where Bucket is going to be lowered into the pit. Now, I can see this one being very easy to miss, because if you go to the door that it's behind, you actually can't open it. You go to it, and your character will tug on it, and it will not be unlocked. And so it doesn't really tell you this, but basically you have to defeat all the enemies in the room for the door to be unlocked. And most players are probably going to get distracted because they're going to pick Bucket up with the crank over here. But before continuing the story, make sure you go to this room, open this door, and then you're going to find coffin number 3. And so you're probably noticing that there are 2 coffins with the 3 marks on them. And there isn't a 2 coffin. So perhaps the children from the DLC will occupy one of the 2 marked coffins. And when we open this coffin, we're going to see Bucket as if he's getting beat up by someone. He gets hit twice very hard, and then ultimately begins falling off the ledge. So wherever he had died seems to mirror the ledge we're standing on now. And after dangling for a bit, he falls down and dies. Now inside his box, we'll find a little statue, and what meaning that has for this particular character, I'm not sure yet. So the very last coffin is the rabbit coffin. And the entrance to this coffin is not obvious right away, but it takes place inside the war hospital. So you know you'll be in the right place when you go through that room, and all of the bed occupants are trying to blow you up with grenades. So after this guy blows up the wall and lets us go into the hallway, we're gonna run from lots of explosions. And we go around this corner, and there's an explosion behind us that kicks this wheelchair down the hallway. And this is where you need to stop. You need to stop right here, turn around, and go through the wall that just blew up. Normally your camera does not show this, so it's easy to miss this. But when you go back here, you're gonna find a vault, and both characters will need to grab this handle, and they can slowly open the vault. And once open, you can take this ladder down, and at the bottom, you're going to find the rabbit coffin. And what's interesting is, unlike the other characters, when you open this coffin, a rabbit runs out, but the rabbit doesn't die. So this is a stark contrast compared to the other coffins, which had all the characters who died. Perhaps this is because later on we'll see that in the credits there is a rabbit that is dead, but it does make you wonder. But now that we've gotten all of those coffins in that order, we are now free to complete the game, and during the credits sequence we're going to get a secret ending. And so once we get through the initial cutscenes with the credits, and then the actual credits start to roll, right afterwards we'll have another shot of the girl at the bottom of the well. And this time you can see these creatures emerging wearing white masks. And these humanoid creatures sort of approach the girl and put their hands on her, ultimately probably giving her her white mask. And there you have it. In the next shot, you're going to get the Friends Reunited achievement. I hope this was helpful. Subscribe if it was. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts on what you think all this means. Cheers!